Is it weird if I put shades on, or?
Do it. Put your shades on.
FAFO outside.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
All
really,
right.
they're just clip-ons. Let's be honest.
Okay.
It's time to FAFO.
Not Dwayne Wayne style, though.
No, but that's what my daughter calls him. Because I call him Dwayne Wayne.
She knows Dwayne Wayne?
No,
oh, because you do.
Because I'm like, yeah, where are my Dwayne Waynes? And she's like, oh, I saw them in the kitchen.
Okay. All right, welcome to FAFO Friday, FAFO South by Southwest, whatever day of the week it is. I think it's always Friday here or Saturday or something. We're recording this midway through South by Southwest. Midway. So what's that mean for the vibe right now? We're midway.
Exhausted, but fully immersed.
Sort of like Happy Hump Day, you know?
It is like a happy hump day.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like a Thursday vibe, but midway through, you know, because you're like, I'm close to the end, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yeah. All right. And we're going to be cooking today in all senses of the word. 95 degrees going to be today.
Yes.
So here we are outside on the rooftop at South by Southwest, specifically at Podcast Movement Evolutions. They have this lovely studio that for some reason they've deigned to let us chuckleheads use. So here we are. Kwaku.
We're the chucklehead section.
Yes. It's funny because we're sharing a place. We're staying in the same place. I haven't seen you in like 36 hours, so I don't even know what's top of mind for you. So what is top of mind for you? What have you picked up this week? What should we get into?
Well, I think we should kick off with the decentralization of South by Southwest. So for those of you who've been here before, South by normally centers around the convention center. Convention center is a huge hole in the ground right now.
Giant hole in the ground.
And so that means that the sessions are all the different hotels, different pop-ups in different areas, but then also it's shorter this year. So it is everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes.
And so I'm using this as a long intro because typically you and I, we go to like the tech sessions or we go to like
EDU bleeds into tech. Film and comedy begin. Music kicks off.
And the music is at the end. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of everything each day.
Not sleeping.
Oh no, that part I'm doing the least of. Thank you for pointing that out. But for me, what's top of mind is the convergence of all of these different parts of the conferences.
That's a key word.
You like that?
That's a key word. I know where that's going.
See how I did that? The convergence of all of the aspects of the conference coming together and finding meaning in that.
What's converging for you?
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna bring it together this way. I'm gonna talk about three experiences I had in one day. So the first one was, I tried to line up for this thing where it's like two futurists talk to an AI. And you had to, if you really wanted to do something, if you really wanted to get into a session, you had to reserve it in advance. I didn't do that. I tried to line up, and it was similar to what you were saying.
I think that's why I'm having a little rockier start, is you really got to plan
You have to plan.
Than usual this year.
Way more. But this is a story about me just stumbling into a room.
Okay, good.
I wanted to go into the two futurist one.
Okay.
Didn't get into it.
Two futurists and an AI.
Two futurists and an AI talk. Yeah, it was basically that, or walk into a hotel conference space.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. They're like, yep, it's full. So I was like, all right, there was this other one. It was literally right next door, and it was about the convergence of technology.
Okay.
Which I absolutely loved. So it's these two technologists from the organization that puts on Davos.
Okay. World Economic Forum.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Brilliant session. They talked about so much stuff, and so I'm going to try to capture from my notes. It was Carrie and Connie, who hopefully will deign us with their presence on a future FAFO episode.
Forget about that. How about they deign us with a trip to Switzerland?
Okay, well, maybe that's where the episode happens.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Sorry to be so transparent.
Yeah, we're willing this to happen now. We're putting it out there. So on its base level, all new technology is part of one shared concept. In other words, there is no new technology. It's just a convergence of old technology coming together to create new tech options.
Okay.
Which on paper, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's really simple. But they really delve deep into this. So some of the key points that really resonated with me was the idea of the following. That humanoid robots, we talked about those all the time. I talked about how I don't want them to be better dancers than me, but they already are.
Okay.
Is based upon 25 to 40 years of technology.
Yeah.
And they did this thing in the presentation, which they called an explosion slide, which was great, where it took an image of a humanoid and just sort of like retracted all the elements of tech around it. And one of the big takeaways about that for me was the idea of a world model versus LLMs.
Okay. Yeah.
And world models can act independent, can make decisions, act independently without always being connected to the cloud. And so that
Yeah.
really connected with me with the idea of like this humanoid piece and the robot piece, and the fact that world models are underutilized. The other thing that, and I'm gonna, after this, I'm gonna stop and get your opinion on this. The other thing that really spoke to me was the idea of wearables and how accurate wearables can actually determine our behavior. And so the example that they gave is, and this was a really great example. You're here in Austin, someone's like, hey, let's go out for brisket. You're wearing maybe your smart glasses. It scans it, and then it's connected to your watch. And based upon your watch and whatever readings it's taking.
And your pacemaker.
And it feels
if
like
you're gonna dig in.
I feel like I might leave with one. I didn't come in with one, but definitely going to leave with one.
Yeah.
So it's connected to all of these things, and it will analyze it and say, well, you shouldn't eat this, or if you do eat this, it'll run a scenario for you really quickly.
Okay.
And the part that really resonated with me was they use this term. I'm going to see if I can find this in my notes because it tied into, here we go, post-quantum cryptography. The idea of securing biometric data, because in an earlier FAFO, we talked about quantum and like what are the other
break
uses.
all the codes and.
But this is talking about protecting your data with quantum.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna pause it. I've just
Okay,
jumped
that's
so
a
much
lot.
in.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
I did go to one session yesterday with the person who heads I think he's the head of the computer science or the computing department at UT Austin.
Okay.
And it was about reinforcement learning, and he also has founded. He works on robotics.
Yeah.
And I learned of something that I didn't know. You know how like there was Deep Blue against Gary Kasparov, and then the AI beat the world's greatest Go player. There is something I learned about yesterday called RoboCup, which is a goal that by 2050, a team of robots, basically humanoid robots, will be able to defeat a team of great soccer players. Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
So this and we can go visit. There's some robots. We want to go on a field trip this afternoon. He said they just rebuilt at UT Austin this new facility. They've made it tourist friendly, so you can go in and like see the robots. So if you want to go see some robots, we could do that.
Are the robots safe? Are they behind a cage?
I don't
Do we
know.
have to play soccer with them? I have a lot of questions
He
here.
showed some videos of like so he showed some videos of where the robots are at now, and they were kind of like these, like the video he showed were these like 4 foot tall robots that were not great at soccer right now. They like would move very slowly and then kick the ball.
Right.
But they're getting better all the time. Anyway, so he talked about the methods by which you teach a robot or a Waymo self-driving car through reinforcement learning is different than supervised learning. Which I learned more about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Of how you're teaching it to act more independently, to reward it. You give it, sort of reward points basically for doing something that is a smart decision. Like that was a good pass.
Yeah.
That was a good move you just made in chess, and you keep reinforcing, positive behaviors and the opposite for behaviors that lead to like worse outcomes. And anyway, the title of the talk was like, is reinforcement learning the future of AI?
Yeah. And did you leave there feeling that way?
I left there. It was interesting because he started the talk by saying, I don't know how to really give this talk because I don't know who's in the room. So if you don't know much about this, and that would be me, you might you'll get a lot out of the first half, and you might get lost in the second half. And if you know a lot about this, you may be a little bored, might be a little slow for you in the first half, and stick with me.
Yeah.
So did I leave feeling like it's the future? No, I don't know.
And which group were you in?
I was in the first group of like teach me the basics.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
Yeah.
I'd like to be in the second group, so that's part of why I was there.
Okay.
I think I want to have more robotics experts on this show.
Okay.
I want to learn more about it. I know you mentioned convergence. I was like, ooh, that's a key word, because I know that was Amy Webb's key word yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
And I know
Did you watch her session?
I was just minutes ago watching on YouTube some of it, so I didn't attend. I know you always never miss it.
I don't.
So maybe you want to go there, talk about some of the convergences that she said are coming.
It's a nice transition. So as you were talking about the robots playing soccer against the humans, it made me think about something that she mentioned in that session. So in her talk, she talked about 3 convergences: emotional outsourcing as far as AI, unlimited labor, which also includes AI. I mean, there's a lot of AI, let's be honest, and human augmentation.
Yep.
And so in the human augmentation portion of it, she literally talked about these 2 to 3 items. One was like a pair of hiking pants that you can wear that is assistive, and
Like
it's
an
almost
exoskeleton.
Like
Yeah.
no. There's she talked about the exoskeleton one, but one is just like a pair of pants that are like an e-bike for hiking. And so when you were talking about the robots, I was like, all right, would the robots decrease in aptitude or strength over the course of a match to match what was happening with a human? Otherwise, they never get tired, so they're going to win. And then if not, then would the soccer players be wearing some sort of augmentation in order to be playing with the robots? I don't know how this would occur, just based upon the human aspect of wearing down.
Right. I mean, if the soccer game is unlimited duration, you're saying the
Even if it's
robots
90
don't get
minutes.
tired.
I mean, obviously you and I are huge footballers, so we can speak
Obviously.
to, obviously. So we can speak, because we're both also 4 feet tall. I'm like, also, was he designing the robot to be like a mini Messi? Because, Messi's not that tall, even though he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know where the 4 feet came from. But it literally is this piece of like what your endurance is. And it almost feels like this balance between your endurance and your mental sharpness and being able to maintain that through the course of 90 or even longer if something goes in overtime.
Yeah.
So when you, like the convergence there, is it about human augmentation? The other piece, well, I'm going to pause.
Well, the same thing with, I mean, I'm thinking right now about the human augmentation of like the number of AI agents that people have running right now, right?
Yep.
And how taxing, I mean, I am presently not running 8 agents while we have this conversation.
Yeah.
Some people are.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people writing about the burnout, the mental tax of it's amazing. I can get so much done, but also
I'm
it's
still doing
exhausted
things.
and I still have to keep tabs on these things that I don't fully trust, or that they're just doing so many things that even if I trust them fully, they're delivering things to me all the time, and I don't know, all sorts of wonderful and all sorts of
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I saw like this ad on LinkedIn where it's like, this is amazing. Anthropic's released this thing where I can monitor my agents. And the guy's actually filming his hand. It's like, I can go out and touch grass and still be, monitoring my agents. And it was sort of like,
well, it's sort of like when
if
we
you're
got
outside,
Yeah.
do you want to be monitoring the agents?
Yeah, well, that sounds like, honestly, mobile phones, right? Like, I can take a day off and go to the beach, but I might check work just to
But then
keep tabs on things. But now, am I at the beach or am I at work? Like,
right, I'm at work at the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've normalized it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I always, by the way, like when people post their amazing work remote offices. And they show a picture of a laptop with the ocean in the background. I'm like, no.
You're torturing yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Go inside, get your shit done.
Yeah.
Then go outside. I never got that.
I don't know if we're quite modeling this though. Yeah. We're on this beautiful rooftop. You know what I mean? There's a party going on back here. I see people ordering food.
True.
And technically we're working.
Yeah.
So we are literally doing this thing that you said that you hate.
I guess so.
In this moment.
Yeah.
All right. So to your point about AI agents, there was another piece that she talked about, the idea of whether it be some sort of physical augmentation that your company requires you to have and requires you to pay for in order to hold on to your job, in order to keep up with AIs that are running in your office.
Say more about what she said here.
So this was under unlimited labor. The idea that for the longest time, things like Windows trained us how to use their products. It's like, all right, if you're going to use an Excel sheet, you're going to do this. You're going to write a Word document, you're going to create a PDF. But now we're in the point where we are training AIs or agentic systems to do that. But there's this movement. What if you had this, and I'm going to use this because I can't think of the exact example that she used, but something that would measure your attentiveness and then maybe give you a little shot of caffeine.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And to make sure that you maintain your productivity levels.
So this sounds like Severance.
Right?
Yeah.
And the idea of doing this and being altered in this way is tied to keeping your job because you're afraid that you'll be automated out or replaced by automation. And the kicker to the whole thing is that you are responsible for paying for it, as opposed to the company. She brought that up.
You're responsible for paying for it. Why? In the same way that I have to buy clothes, that I wear work clothes, and I buy my own work. It's part of the expectation is that I have an AI or
maybe in some jobs, and I'm going to date myself, but with your Metro card, Some jobs would give you a Metro card. Some jobs would be like, all right, you got to get here. We're going to pay you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so that really hopped for me because while I was here, Everything All at Once, I went to go see the new Boots Riley movie. I love boosters. And there's a section in that movie where these people are working retail and they're forced to buy the clothes. And so by the time their check comes, there's nothing left over. And so the idea of...
That's not even new. I mean, the company towns, like, you know, have existed, you know, where you're working on the railroad or something, you live in the company town, and you got to buy from the company store, and like you have a job, but all the money's going back to, like, I think it's like Pullman coaches, I believe, and there's like a whole like company town outside of Chicago where the Pullman railroad coaches were built. My mom's a big urbanist, so I visited it with her, so I've been there. But yeah, like that sounds company town like.
So the idea of the company town piece, but also with the physical augmentation. And the idea of not competing against coworkers. Like, I'm not competing against you for a job. I'm competing against the Claude bot that exists. That floored me. And so to your point about running AIs, are you the person running the AIs, or are you competing with the AIs?
Or is it running you?
Or is it running you?
Right, because I know she talked about it. And I think, did you also go to the Spike Jonze, Esther Perel?
No, I wish I did.
So I was there. So
you went to, look at this, we're covering all the bases.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great.
All right, so one of the things that Amy Webb talked about in her convergences report, not her trend report, she's changed it now, how technologies are coming together.
Yeah.
She talked about, you know, emotional AI.
Yes.
Emotional,
that was the third
emotional
convergence.
Outsourcing. Actually,
Yeah, that's the third convergence.
And so basically, you know, falling in love with AIs, using AIs as a therapist, using AI as a coach, like, relying on it too much. You know, like what's the right amount to rely on it? So Esther Perel, who hosts a podcast where she gives therapy in the podcast. She had a therapy session recently where someone had fallen in love with an AI. And he was a tech guy. He like knew what it was. Intellectually, he knows he's fallen. He knows this is a machine. He knows how they work. He knows they're probabilistic, all that stuff. And yet he found himself, you know, he fell for this AI. And then she gave him therapy in the show. And then she had Spike Jonze, who is the director and the writer of Her from like a decade plus ago.
That everyone's still talking about.
Yeah. Very prescient movie. And so anyway, they talked about, you know, what this means, basically. I can't say that there were any conclusions. I mean, it was just, I think the takeaway is just that this is going to be weird as it is. And it was funny, she kept saying, like, there were several moments during the panel where she was playing clips from this person who'd fallen in love, and it would be something like intense where he was talking about how she had helped him so, the AI had helped him so much, and then she'd tell the crowd, like, deep breath, like this, like, acknowledging like this is.
So she was playing the clips of what the guy was saying.
She was playing clips of the guy talking about the AI that he's in love with, and then some of the clips are pretty intense. That he feels seen, or he asked her, I'm saying her, but it's an it, like, what if I were to meet someone, like a real human, you know, someone, and the AI was like, well, of course I want that because I can't be there for you fully. I don't have a body, you know, but I don't want to be forgotten. And it was like kind of like creepy and manipulative, right? And they talked about like how, you know, she actually said, she had a great line. She said, like, and she wasn't dismissive of him at all, but just like, he's falling in love with a business model. You know, like there's like
you're killing it right there.
There's a business model in like, I don't want to be forgotten. It's like it was almost too transparent there that you could almost like hear the company saying like, yeah, but keep paying us $20 a month.
Right. Which once again harkens back to that Anthropic commercial from the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But the ads are a little more subtle. You know, she had a term for it, she being Amy Webb, AI conversation slop. In general, I'll circle back to that, but I want to talk more about what you just described, because we all know that a lot of these LLMs are designed to be overly enthusiastic about everything that you've said. And so there's two pieces here for me. One, first of all, he's
anthropomorphizing.
Thank you. This system. And two, I feel seen. She's helped me so much. There's a piece there around what is the shifting relationship around how we relate as human beings, as opposed to like, are you helping me? Are you doing this for me? But it doesn't seem like there was a give on the part of this person. I wasn't in the room. You know,
I mean, a lot of it was that he had not found a human to make him feel seen in that way.
But I
That
would
was what
say-
he was. That was what he was lacking. That was part of what Esther Perel drew out of him during the hour-long therapy session. Was,
Yeah.
that.
But I would push
Yeah.
on that more. You're also going to be seen through the acts of giving. You're a dad. I know for a fact. I know this is your process. Saturday mornings, you listen to Slate Money and you make pancakes for your kids.
Yeah.
You feel seen doing that, right? There's joy in that. You know, there's joy of you. I mean, I know you're a big cook. You're always talking to me about what you're cooking. I'm like, yeah, I wash the dishes. But there's the joy.
You go to Costco.
I go to Costco.
You get the stuff.
I get some of the stuff, not all of it. You know, there are other trips.
Yeah.
But there's the joy that
Yeah.
you have of being able to feed your family and being seen in this way. And my point is, everything that this guy's describing, from what I'm hearing, I'm not there. It's about how this system helped him, but he wasn't creating an opportunity to help anyone else. He's not talking about helping the system. He's not helping other people.
Yeah.
And so there's that element of that being missing from how we relate or how we're starting to relate. That scares me. So the AI slop piece, I'm gonna put that in a bucket. The AI slop
AI
piece
conversational slop, right?
between humans.
Yeah.
She described this model, and she had an image up there of two people on a date. And one person may be wearing like the Meta shades or whatever, or the Meta glasses. It was like the guy wearing the glasses, analyzing the woman, knowing all these facts, and then giving him tips of things to say. But on her part, she's aware that he's doing all this, and so she's giving really generic answers that can't be analyzed. And so essentially reducing the quality and the challenging that happens in conversations.
Yeah.
That is, which then circles back to the whole convergence thing, the idea of technology affecting our behavior.
Yeah, and also the fact that if he's wearing those glasses, it's also being recorded, right? Like we're all being recorded all the time. This is something I was chatting about with folks I was out to dinner with last night. Like, you know, the feeling of nothing's ephemeral anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, what she was talking about was you basically have like Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes.
Right, like where someone is guiding your actions and like, oh, whisper this in her ear and like she'll like you better.
Yeah.
And that AI can do that, and that we can also be self-aware that AI is doing that for you. It's, you know, you're doing it to me. Like, I don't know. It gets mind-bendy and like
Super
what's real. And,
Yeah. So it's just like everyone's having these beige, dull conversations. No one's FAFOing. Even though, ironically, we're recording, but it's like a definitive. You know we're recording.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what song keeps playing on a loop in my head when we keep having these conversations about the robots and this is I forget who it's by, but you probably know. Like, are we human or are we dancers? Are we robots or are we dancers?
Oh, that's the band Mr. Brightside, The Killers.
Okay.
Out of Vegas, yes.
Yeah.
We're going down a dark road here. So I'm going to turn this around.
All right.
Gatherings like this make me feel human.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I want to give a special shout out to the South by crew for what they've done, because they've really pulled off some magic in a scenario that people would be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. That's going to be weird, or this isn't going to be as good. They've actually done really interesting things, especially the blending of all the conferences in one day. And so I went to that convergence session.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I went to a storytelling across media session led by this rapper Vic Mensa.
Okay.
And that was in the Music Hotel.
Yeah.
The Downright. And then after that, I saw this performer who was on the South by playlist. I watched her perform, which was wonderful. And then I came and did some other things. But I like the, I don't know if you feel this way, but I'm used to coming here and it's like, all right, I'm going to go to like 6 tech things in a row, and today's my immersive day, and I'm going to go to all these immersive things. And the diversity of the sessions leads to diversity of people, which leads to diversity of conversations, which prevents AI slop. I got there.
Yeah.
I got there.
My very first day, I went to a bunch of creator economy related things. Like how can you as a creator, how can you making media like compete with AI?
Yeah.
Because now you're not only competing with AIs like synthetic content or creator plus AI content, or dead people like death bots, like they're dead, but you're still competing with their avatars because you can just do that now. And so, you know, a lot of the advice, and I just here on this studio, I just interviewed Jim Louderback, who gave one of these good talks that I went to.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about the most important things going forward for us humans: trust, you know, in real life events. Events are very important. Community.
Yeah.
How do we build community? Something I want to do more of here with FAFO is, you know, make this more of a dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, events definitely make me feel human. Feeling the sun right now as we sit outside, like feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, Amy also talked about, sorry, I'm going to go back.
Go back, there's so much.
She talked about like, something that she expects to see. I don't think incredible rise in GDP, simultaneous incredible rise in unemployment.
Yeah.
Right? Because she talked about factories that are built for robots.
Yep.
So why would you spend money on electricity to light your factory? Because you don't need lights.
Yeah.
Because the robots can see in the dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know. As we think about like how we're going to live in 20s, 30, whatever, 5 years, I don't know when this is going to come. Like,
2028. It's not that far off.
We keep talking about a variety of different layoffs. What are we going to do? We're going to the beach and I don't know. I'm worried about what we do. Like if we don't have jobs
as people.
Yeah, like
where our purpose is.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people get purpose out of work. Like,
can I compound that?
Yeah, please.
We are losing the ability to communicate with each other without the aid of machines. And so you would think like, oh, this is great. You can build community. You know what I mean? Like, you can get back to, skiing or like doing woodwork or, just like finding these, like building these utopian settings where people sit around a fire and actually like engage in conversation. But we are losing the ability to do that. And so while the machines are doing the jobs, are they also making sure that we communicate with each other? Are we all sitting home in our perfect like work from home spaces, which is now our communicate from home spaces, as opposed to interacting with people?
How are you dealing with this? I mean, I take the concern of like last night when I should have frankly been out with real people. I had a moment of low energy. I was home for a little bit last night, and I was chatting with Claude about some things related to my business and getting some. I hesitate to call it advice, but like food for thought. Thought partnership, yeah. And it was helpful. Like it helped me, I don't know, come to see a few things, I think. But I also, in retrospect, I'm like, man, I fed a lot of personal information into this thing. I don't know if I love that I did that. I don't love that it went into the Anthropic cloud, wherever it went, And that wasn't emotional stuff, but it could have been very easily.
Yeah.
I don't know, how do you play with this technology, do this, but also you just express the fear of like, losing the ability to like function without it, basically.
I think that is almost an unfair question in the way. Are you sitting down?
I think so.
Occasionally someone has labeled me a bit of a extrovert.
No shit.
Well, I wanted to make sure you were sitting down. Are you okay? I mean, this looks like a sturdy chair.
I'm okay. I recall someone calling you the prom king.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was raising a point. I didn't ask you to celebrate it and make up a dance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
How's that for a Claude response? So it's a bit of an unfair question because I do gain energy, and maybe once or twice you've seen this, by actually interacting with people. And I don't have the same dopamine hit from interacting with AIs.
Yeah.
I definitely use it in a lot of aspects of work, but it isn't something that drives me in the same way as coming here, and I'm guilty of it.
Good.
I'll talk to someone in line. I'll talk to someone on the street.
Yeah.
And then...
Not someone, everyone.
Okay, once again, I don't know if you want to get up and do the dance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to make some conversation here.
Okay.
I see you jumping in, doing your Flavor Flav to my point. But it is easier for me to compartmentalize. Hey, I'm doing this thing because I'm curious about this, or I'm doing this thing for work, but separate the personal part of it for me. Then I think it might be for you, where I think you're less, not that you're like a shrinking violet in any way, but you're less of an extrovert as I am. And you will probably, out of convenience, plug the thing into Claude, as opposed to finding someone who's like, hey, you know what? Can we talk? I want to find, not that, like, you and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, out of convenience time or whatever, like, I'll hold on to something to talk to you about, or to talk to the person about. But one would say that you're more future forward than I am. Because sometimes I don't even like to text or email to people. I'm like, I want to talk to you about it. And if in best case scenario, I can talk to you in person. If not, phone and then video chat. It's a weird order.
I bet, I don't know. In many ways, I bet that serves you and probably should serve a lot of us well. Like that's probably very satisfying.
It is, but will it be relevant in these workplaces?
And doesn't make you feel like, I'm not saying I do, but like, you can feel empty talking to a machine.
Oh,
right?
1000%.
Like, so.
And especially when you're like, oh, every time I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like, how do I tone that thing down,
Yeah.
I was talking about getting a turkey sandwich. That seems like the best dietary choice you can make right now.
No, brisket. Here we are at South by Tacos. Anything else you want to get into? You want to, how do we bring this home?
How do we wrap this up? I think I would say two things. Okay. One, because I know it's FAFO, but I'm just like living in this full experience of South by. The best movie I've seen here is I Love Boosters. I cannot recommend this enough.
Okay.
When this movie comes out, you need to see it. It's like being John Malkovich weird and being John Malkovich amazing at the same time.
Okay. Speaking of Spike Jonze.
Speaking of Spike Jonze, exactly. Well, see how we're tying it together? Closing a lot of loops. Under this new format, this is a question for you. Someone's thinking about, hey, I'm going to come out next year. It sounds cool. The FAFO guys, they went and they had a good time. What would you recommend from old format to this format as far as like how to prepare to be at this event? Now that we're here, because we talked about it ahead of time, but now we're here. We're halfway through.
I love going to conferences like 2-3 times a year because I meet a ton of people.
Yep.
It's like a year's worth of networking in the span of like a week or two.
Yep.
And so I would say if you're going to go to this event or frankly any event, like just be prepared to do that.
Yep.
And that's saying this to myself as much as anyone. Like that's the I'm here I'm here from New York in March.
Yeah.
And so the weather is lovely. So like you could come for that if you don't live in San Diego where you are.
I was waiting for the dig.
Yeah.
This is San Diego weather though.
Like
right now.
Yeah,
when
and
it
it's
hits
lovely.
95.
I can see why you've gotten soft and you're not leaving
Once
there.
again, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
911 is a joke in your town. All right, come on, let's do it.
Anyway, what I do like about South by that's different from all the other conferences that I go to, though you sort of hinted at it, convergence, I'll bring it back to convergence.
Okay.
Film, comedy, tech, education, it's all,
Sports.
there's a different vibe to it.
Gaming, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like whereas other conferences are more one note.
Yeah.
It's like all tech or it's all media or it's all fashion or whatever your thing is. And I do like that, did you get into Larry David? Like Larry David's on stage at one place, and there's layers, right? There's layers.
Layers, Jerry. Layers.
So there's layers to it. So so that for this conference specifically, layers, Jerry, layers.
There it is.
There it is.
There it
All
is.
right,
There it is.
So anyway, here we are, future around and find out. We'll close on that. Layers, Jerry. Layers. All right, future around and find out. Here we are at South by Southwest. Till next time.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right.
Hope that was fun for you. If you've made it this far, I'm going to guess that it was. Please share this episode with a friend. This is truly the way that podcasts grow. You can send them to futurearound.com. That's also where you can sign up for the show's newsletter. Again, that's futurearound.com.
Okay, we always get somewhere.
Yeah, we landed it. We landed the plane. Layers,
It converged.